So all this noise about which side he's on and all of that stuff, which of course is totally irrelevant, all it is just background noise where everyone is overlooking the single credible motive for this crime, because everything else can be explained as intentional misdirection from this guy, okay? And when you look at the credible motive that is very credible, and I realize you guys don't know what it is yet, but I'm going to show you in a second, okay? It is the opposite of him being on the right. It is the absolute dead opposite of him being on the right. Now, if you want to have conversations with people about who this guy really is and why he did this, if you don't watch the entirety of this video, you are going to be operating without proper information, because there is no question who this guy is and what he was doing. So watch to the end of the video and then comment if you think I'm wrong, or you can validate for future watchers. Okay, yes, watch the end of the video. All right, so we have so much to get to. I'm just going to get started, okay? So I'm sure that most of you guys have been following this case. The dude, Vance Boelter, has been arrested. He was arrested in some field, army crawling or something, and they got him, whatever, okay? So I have a few questions to pose to you guys at the beginning, because we are going to solve for why he did this. Not just which side he was on, okay, because it's definitely being misreported. Not just about the suspicious nature of this like manifesto, okay, which I said the other day. I'm like, manifesto? Another guy with a manifesto? Give me a break. A manifesto and a kill list. Why would anybody be walking around with a kill list? It made no sense. I said it on my video yesterday. It's idiotic, okay? It just makes it look like a false flag. Well, it's not that. But it's also not a kill list, and it's also not a manifesto, and that is being misreported by the mainstream media because it's convenient. It is intentionally being misreported, okay? Because finding a list of names and addresses is a lot different than finding a kill list, okay? And I'm going to show you where this is being reported correctly and what this actually was, because, oh, I don't know, weird. Like, you're just not seeing that anywhere. Somehow they ran with the kill list story, okay? So, first of all, though, let's just look at the case itself, all right? Just really, really quick, because as bizarre as this is, so this dude walks up with a... with a Walter White mask on, and I'm the one who knocks. And here's the official story. Heroism and street smarts of the police. While at the scene, Hoffman's shooting in Champlin, Minnesota, thought it would be prudent to check on Hortman, who lived just miles away. So he shoots and does not kill Hoffman, but they're like, oh man, we should probably check on Hortman. That's kind of weird, right? When officers arrived at the Hortman home, they were met with gunfire from the suspect dressed as a police officer. But when police's smarts meant the suspect left behind a lot of evidence and was soon identified, he was taken into custody Sunday evening. Otherwise, they may have had no idea. More importantly, he may have been going on to kill others, said Amy Klobuchar. Okay, so I don't understand. First of all, he was wearing a mask, so how do they know he was him? And also, like, how they just randomly went to Hortman's house? That's very bizarre. But here's something really important to go with, all right? How is this being reported in the mainstream media, okay, and why? I assume I don't really need to show you too much on X of what's being put out there. Like, oh, the Minnesota assassin conspiracy theorists are going to get more Democrats hurt. You sick nuts. Assassin Vance Boelter, registered Republican. Remember that. Voted for Trump. How do you know? How do you know that? Very, very interesting, because we definitely know that he was appointed to that workforce board in 2019. Okay, Trump was president in 2019. You're telling me that Tim Walz appointed a Trump voter to a workforce development board? And when you see what that actually was in this video, you're going to be like, okay, this conversation's over, okay? Evangelical preacher, private security contractor, hit list included Tim Walz, Ilhan Omar, and abortion activists. Really? Are you sure about that? Because if that was not a hit list, what that would actually include would be contacts that he worked with. So abortion activists, would be his partners of some kind. Ilhan Omar would be his partner of some kind. Tim Walz would be his partner of some kind. Okay? I'm going to prove it to you. That's not a kill list. It's a list. It's an address book of his friends and people he was working with. Okay? Followed anti-LGBTQ hate groups on Facebook. Are you sure that is because he was one of them, or was he following them because he despised them? Okay. Was he hate following them? None of this proves nothing. Okay. Because you're wrong about a bunch of it. Okay. So let's continue. Then, of course, breaking, they caught the right-wing lunatic. Oh, yeah? Right-wing lunatic. Okay. And now we're going to start tearing their entire case apart. Now, first though, why don't you subscribe to the channel and like this video? All right, you guys ready to start unwinding this thing? Let's start unwinding the story that is somehow becoming the official story from the mainstream media, which is definitely not true, okay? So, here's something that was posted on X, okay? And they're going back and forth about, is this guy Democrat, is this guy Republican? Okay, cool. So someone put this up in response to actual information about who this guy is currently, okay? And then they went, probably not, pal. Look at his voter registration. And so at the top, you look and it says Republican, and then it says Republican, and then it says Republican. And so, people being not very detail-oriented, they just take a look at that and go, all right, he's a Republican, right? Okay, so here's the thing about things that are on the internet. You need to look a lot deeper than just, oh, hey, here you go. Because what this says is Vance Luther Boelter, registered Republican, registration date, 9/14/2004. That's the top one, okay? Second one is identical, okay? The second one is absolutely identical. This is a copy-paste job of the top one, okay? Then the next one is also a copy-paste job, except they took out one of the lines, okay? Because this one said the status inactive. All they did is just pull the status inactive off of this third one, okay? Now we get over here, okay? So this is registration date, 9/6/2022. Registered, active. Oh, wait, what's missing, you guys? Oh, it doesn't say what political party he's in on this one. Huh. Well, I wonder why they pulled that one off. So the top four, or the top three that say he's a Republican, are all copy-paste jobs from his 2004 registration. Okay. And then, here we go. When we get to this one, it's just not on there anymore. And then this one, again, okay, this is another copy-paste job underneath that of the one that says Republican, and then there's no date and nothing else on it, okay? Then you go here, this is his registration date, 2018, and it doesn't have a political party. And then you have another one right here, which also, it says registration date, 2006, and it doesn't have his political party. So what you actually have is that he was a registered Republican in 2004, and then for some reason, I don't know, on the rest of these, something's missing. Something's missing. I don't know. It doesn't say what political party he's in, okay? So this is horse shit that has been intentionally misleading put on the internet. I don't know why. Okay, so that's that. Now let's move over to, let's take a look at this, okay? So this is in the Des Moines Register, okay? And so I found this, and I want to show you a couple things, okay? Quote, Boelter had a list of 70 potential targets, including individuals from Iowa and other Midwestern states. Okay. So that must be his kill list, right? Hey, that's the manifesto kill list, right, guys? It's a kill list, okay? The list included politicians, business leaders, and health officials, but authorities haven't released the full list. Oh, they haven't? They haven't released the full list? Okay, so we're reporting that he had a kill list, right? All right, cool. So someone said it, and then everybody's just also reporting it. Cool. Okay, first thing I wanted to look at right here. Okay, Vance Luther Boelter was arrested Sunday night 50 miles outside of Minnesota on 2 counts of second-degree murder and 2 counts of second-degree attempted murder. What sticks out to you guys about that, first of all? Second-degree murder? Hey, Jesse, what's the difference between first-degree murder and second-degree murder? Premeditation. Oh, okay, cool. So would you consider writing down people's names, putting on a Walter White mask, dressing up as a police officer, driving directly over to the house that you wanted, knocking on the door, murdering 2 people, shooting 2 people who survive, then going to the next house, knocking on the door, murdering 2 people that are both lawmakers? I don't know. Does that seem like premeditation, you guys? I don't know. I'm just saying, I'm not a genius, but maybe there's something they just book them on second degree. It doesn't really matter. But if that's not first degree murder, I don't know what is. Okay. So here is something very important. Probably the most important thing that you're going to hear in this video about things that are being reported as fact. All right. So here you go. Let's take a look at this. So Minnesota law enforcement officials said they recovered a notebook believed to belong to Boelter that had a list of 70 other targets in Minnesota and across the Midwest that included politicians, business leaders, and health officials. Among those confirmed to be on the list are Senator Tina Smith, Ilhan Omar, Keith Ellison, all Democrats from Minnesota. Okay. Okay. Drew Evans, superintendent of the Minnesota Bureau of said during a news, the individuals from Iowa were also on the list, although he did not provide specific names. Other targets included people from Wisconsin, Illinois, Michigan, and Nebraska. Okay. So he had a list of 70 names and addresses in this notebook. Keep in mind. Okay. Okay. 70. Okay. Evans clarified at the June 15th news conference that the writings investigators were not in the form of a traditional manifesto and lacked details. They have not yet released those writings. Okay, so it's misreported at first then. Quote, this is a notebook with a lot that's been reported of lawmakers and others that are listed in here. And that much more other thoughts and then much more other thoughts that are throughout this, as opposed to a very succinct document, and it's mixed in with other documents. What? Like, so what this sounds like is a big notebook of things that he is working on. It's all a bunch of notes. And then he has 70 names and addresses. How do you know it's a kill list? How do you know this is a kill list? Because this sounds an awful lot more like something that he would have been working on as a member of the business development board, since that's what the board that he was on does, that he was appointed to by Tim Walz. What about this as kill list? It's a notebook with a lot that's been reported. It's not a manifesto. Lawmakers and others that were listed here, and then much more other thoughts that are throughout this, as opposed to a very succinct document, and it's mixed with other documents. Does that sound like what they reported? A kill list manifesto? It's ridiculous. That sounds like a notebook and a bunch of people that he's working with, as opposed to that he's going to kill 70, a kill list of 70 people, guys. Is he some kind of criminal mastermind? Oh, he's going to kill 70 people, guys. Does that sound realistic to you? Or is this being misreported by the mainstream media intentionally because one person said it was a manifesto and a kill list? Okay. So that's part one. Manifesto kill list with Democrats on it. Bullshit. Bullshit is my call on that. Okay. Now let's get into who this guy was and why he actually probably did this. Okay. So Tim Walz, governor, notice of appointment, Vance Boelter. Because of the special trust and confidence I have in your integrity, judgment, and ability, I have appointed and commissioned you to have and hold the office of business member, Governor's Workforce Development Board from 2019 to 2023. Okay. Now, people are saying, well, oh, he appointed a Republican to it. How come you can't? I mean, maybe. But for some reason, they can't produce his voter records, the recent ones where he was still a Republican, you know. They found some fat dude to stand in front of a camera and go, oh, yeah, he loved InfoWars. So then why would he do this? If he loved InfoWars, why would he do this? There is nothing on InfoWars that would support political violence at all, okay? So he is appointed by Tim Walz to the Governor's Workforce Development Board. Now, what does that do? Good question, okay? So we're going to get to that as well. And then I'm going to show you, you know, we're always all the way leading up to why he probably did this and how the rest of this is either misdirection or is just being misreported. Okay. So the Minnesota Workforce Development Board including the Governor's Workforce Development Board. What? That's exact. Okay. Whatever. Advises the governor on the state's workforce development system and ensures alignment of resources for talent development and system effectiveness. It also oversees the implementation of the Federal Workforce Innovation and Opportunities Act. The board works to connect employers with resources, identify high demand occupations, and develop strategies to address workforce needs. So the board he was on was directly connected to the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act. Okay, so what does that do? The WIOA is landmark legislation that is designed to strengthen and improve our nation's public workforce system and help get Americans, including youth and those with significant barriers to employment, into high-quality jobs and careers, and help employers hire and retain skilled workers with significant barriers to employment. I mean, I don't know. Something tells me if you look into how this was created, it's not going to be like this is not going to be some MAGA stuff. Okay. It was signed into law in July 22nd, 2014 during the Obama administration. It's designed to help job seekers access employment, education, training, and support services to succeed in the labor market and to match employers with skilled workers. Okay, so that's what this is about, right? Now, let's get to where we're going. This is it right here. Okay, guys. So this is it. So this is the Dr. Vance Boelter, EDD, whatever. He's a CEO of Red Lion Group. Okay, the Red Lion Group website gone. However, up here you can see this is not on that website. This is on the Minnesota Africans United website. Now, I don't like to trust things that I see on the internet. Like I said, I go verify them. That's how I verified that thing about always registered Republican was a copy paste, and then somehow they removed what he's been registered since 2004. Okay, so I'm sorry, I got to show you this too. So this is this is what they do. So he's on their website. Okay, the Minnesota Africans United is serving as a coalition of African immigrants in Minnesota that is centered on closing the opportunity gaps in agriculture, business development, education, employment, healthcare, housing, investment, and trade with the mission of creating awareness and increasing access to resources for African communities. So again, he's on the business development board, which is supposed to help people with significant barriers to employment get skilled and then get connected with employers. And he's also on the website of this thing that is centered on closing opportunity gaps. So he's working directly with the Minnesota Africans United to get Africans who are here work, okay, and healthcare. Literally, it says, listen to this, dude. It says closing the opportunity gaps in agriculture, business development, education, employment, healthcare. Keep that in mind. Housing, investment, and trade. Okay. So this is, and then this is Boelter said the Workforce Development Forum can have a positive impact on many people in Minnesota. Okay. So this is, again, this is a quote from him, okay, in a newspaper article. When our economy has strong year-over-year growth, over 100 programs that depend on tax dollars for funding help countless people that live all around us. Small and large businesses that generate the bulk of those tax dollars need a well-trained workforce so they can keep growing as the companies are profitable and expand. So do the wages and opportunities in Minnesota. Okay, that's from him. So he is actively working on this business development thing and he's on the board of whatever this, whatever this Minnesota Africans United thing is. But like I said, I will go and verify these things. So check this out. They did a pretty good job of trying to get rid of this, right? So if you go to the computer website, right? You go, it's mnafricansunited.org. If you go to this, okay, and you go through all of these, you will not find any way to get to that page where he was, okay? So I'm like, I don't know if it's real. However, on their mobile site, they made a big mistake and they left this because on the mobile site, Business Development Manager is right there, okay? You can see here, everything else matches up here, but there is no Business Development Manager on any of these, okay? Across up here, but it is right there. And what happens when you click on it? Oops. Oops. There's nothing there. So whoever's doing their website apparently successfully took off the business development board, like the link, but on the mobile site, it's still there. And then it's a bad link. So I'm going to say pretty confidently that this is real. And this is exactly where this would have gone, okay, on the mobile website had they not taken it down. Business Development Board, because that's what he was on. So we've established that this guy was appointed by Tim Walz. He was working on the Business Development Board. He was trying to get employment for minorities and other people who had significant barriers to gain employment, okay? Which brings us to the crime, okay? Which brings us to the actual crime. So Melissa Hortman is the one lawmaker that was actually killed, okay? Keep that in mind. She's the only one that was actually killed. And I said yesterday, I found it very bizarre that one person, that in the one attack, both people were successfully killed and the other two were wounded and did not die. Okay. Now that's bizarre. That's why I said, I was like, are we sure it was one person? Because to to shoot and kill 2 people and then shoot and wound 2 other people is very weird. Sounds like one's super sloppy and one's professional, unless it's done on purpose. Okay? Unless it's done on purpose. And it's all misdirection, right? It's misdirection. Because the real target is the one who got killed, right? And why would they have done that? And why would this connect to that dude? Okay? Well, because Minnesota Rep. Melissa Hortman sided with Republicans in her state and voted for a bill that would take away health care from adult illegals. Oh, weird. Hey, does that sound like something that would land absolutely dead square in that guy's passion projects? You know, does that sound like something that this guy would take very personally when he's working with these people every single day? He's working with the kids. He's working with the parents. From his point of view, they are hard-working immigrants that would do anything to make it work in this country. He's hearing about how this one has cancer. He's hearing how this one has whatever. Okay, I'm not asking anybody to change their politics. I'm telling you to think empathetically and then be smart, okay? Like if you are in a role like that and all you do all day is meet with like the best possible immigrants who are genuinely looking to try to gain employment. Okay. Like he's not meeting with MS-13. He's not meeting with these gang members. They're not trying to get jobs. He's meeting with the good ones. Okay. And if you think that all the people who come from Somalia to the United States and end up in Minnesota are all bad actors, you're an idiot. Okay. Of course there are good ones who are fleeing Somalia. Okay. Does Somalia seem like a nice place to visit, much less live there? Of course they want to get over here. Doesn't mean that you have to let them all in, but I'm saying that guy in particular is working with those guys. And then this Democratic lawmaker, okay, and the idea of this guy's MAGA guy is so stupid, dude. He's on the Business Development Workforce Board, okay? Like, you're just going to appoint some MAGA guy to that in 2019? Okay, Trump was president in 2019. He was a MAGA guy. And then Tim Walz appointed him to that board. When she voted against that, okay, she probably pulled the rug out from under people that he has tremendous empathetic connection with, dude. Okay, because what would make him do this? He murdered her. And he shot another lawmaker and then, oopsie, didn't successfully get it done. Because listen, this was her after that vote.
I know that people will be hurt by that vote. And we worked very hard to try to get a budget deal that wouldn't include that provision.
DFL Speaker Emeritus.
He killed her, dude. He killed her. Does she look like a bad actor to you guys? He killed her, dude. You think that's coincidence? You think what he was working on and that he killed her is coincidence? And you think it's coincidence that somehow his other attack that he did first with no blowback, he got caught at her house. Okay? He got caught at her house. The one where he had all the time in the world. Oh, I don't know. They survived. I would love to hear where their wounds were, dude. You know? I'm not saying they were in on it. And maybe he intended to kill them also. But I'm telling you what this guy was working on and the fact that she was targeted, there's your answer, dude. That's why he did it. Almost certainly. So I think this is the part where I say, get the fuck off me, okay? And everybody needs to start sharing this video so that people start reporting the right things, all right? Because that's not a kill list, and this is why this guy did this, okay? That's what I got. I love you guys. Bye-bye.